Yo, what's up, everybody? Let me bring this camera a little bit. Whoa, shit. Maybe? And a little. There you go. What's up, everybody? So, we're back with another episode of Nutmegged, and you guys are doing well. I may have to do some editing this time because I'm actually watching over my 3-month-old, so he's asleep right now. So hopefully he stays asleep. That way we can get this episode done. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. This time around for this episode, we are gonna talk about actually Real Madrid and Barcelona's performance this last week. I know I'm a little late. I've been super busy raising kids and whatnot. But we wanted to come back and check out their performance. Also, talk a little bit about some news that has been reported lately that Gilberto Mora from Cholos is being linked to Real Madrid somehow. And then also I wanted to talk about Leagues Cup. What I believe, my thoughts about it, and the MLS-Apple deal that they have with Apple. It's starting to kind of look pretty bad. But first of all, let's check out Real Madrid and Barcelona this weekend. So let's get right into that. Oh, by the way, just watched, or I didn't watch it actually. I was actually following it because I don't have Paramount Plus. I canceled my Paramount Plus account because this year Champions League is on the Zone. Actually, so there's really no point in having Paramount Plus this year, which is crazy. I mean, I think they're still showing it, but the Zone is actually showing it too, and I already have the Zone because of boxing. So I just rather just pay for one subscription, which I use the Zone a lot for boxing, so I'm keeping it. But anyways, Manchester United actually just lost to some team called Grims. I gotta look up this name here. It's crazy, bro. Grimsby Town. They're in Football League 2, which, what is Football League, bro? This team is, they're in the 4th division of the English. Yo, my guy. Lost in PKs. It was something like 30 PKs or something like that. 20 something PKs taken. And they lost. It's just crazy, man, how far off Manchester United has fallen off as a club. Shout out to all my Manchester United fans out there, bro. Sucks, man. I don't even want to think about being in the dumps like that. Like, bro, that sucks. Like, to lose to a 4th division team, I'm sure Madrid has done it at some point. I would have to go into the record books, but into the history books, sorry, but that is wild, man. That is crazy. That is uncalled for, bro. That cannot happen at a team like Manchester United. That's crazy, man. But anyways, yeah. So that just happened literally like 10 minutes ago. But anyways, so I wanted to talk about Real Madrid and Barcelona's performance. I actually haven't gotten to watch Atletico Madrid. So, but they did tie this past weekend. They tied, I forget who they tied. Check, but I haven't been able to watch them. I did watch some highlights of them, and they seem to be playing at least decent. But the thing is, with Atletico Madrid, they play pretty good against like super lower class teams. inferior teams. But when it comes to somebody that's as good or better than them, they go back to their typical cholismo, which is just, counterattack and sit in the back, which they do at the highest level. They've gotten to 2 Champions League finals like that. They've won a few La Ligas like that. They've won, I think, a Copa del Rey and a Supercopa de España, I think. Can't remember, but they actually tied with Elche, which is crazy. Elche, I think, just came up from second division, which is wild. I mean, it's still the beginning of the season, but to get a draw, these draws that you get this early, they could cost you like a lot, man. Because once you have to play the likes of Barcelona, the likes of Real Madrid, Villarreal is off to a decent start. These ties are points that you should have gotten. So they better get in gear. They're sitting 14th right now. So I honestly haven't. Yeah. So the 3 promoted were Levante, Elche, and Real Oviedo, which are the 3 that Barça, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid played this last weekend. Yeah. So let's start with Barça, man. I actually got to watch all of that game, or most of it, if not all of it. Yeah, man, it's more the same actually from Barcelona. They still want to play high line. I didn't get to catch their first game, but the second game they played, bro, like they still play high line. It's not good, man. They were down 2-0 against Levante, just a recently promoted team. I mean, it's not looking great for them. Let me put this over here, actually. And then we'll put this over here. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so they need to figure it out, bro. That defending just it cannot continue. The lack of defending and their hyper focus on attack. I think it's gonna cost them. They've already conceded. Okay, they've only allowed 2 goals, but they were both goals. One was on a counter, and another one was a PK that came off of a counter attack. Yeah, man, that the high line stuff just isn't gonna work, man. Like in big games, I just don't think it's sustainable. Offensively, though, they are top. They're super talented up top, and I like what I see from Rashford. Like I kind of called it. Like I kind of was hoping for him. He looks pretty good. Like he looks comfortable, which is something I haven't seen from him in forever. Since his first few years at Manchester United. So I'm happy for him. At least the game I saw, the stats on this game were crazy. It's like 82% possession to like 18. The shots were crazy. 26 for Barça, 8 for Levante. It's just, I mean, it was ridiculous. But every time Levante went on a break, it just seemed like danger, man. And they just couldn't hold on. So Barca's offensively, they're just way more talented. They're way more deep off the bench. Hell of a goal by Pedri from outside the box. So Pedri's in top form, man, already. Like Pedri, I love the way Pedri plays. Even though he's a culé, but man, I gotta give him props, bro. Like that guy's a baller. I love the way he plays in the midfield for them. And then it was Ferran Torres. I'm trying to remember how that goal was. I think it was off a corner. I think both goals were off of corners. One was like kind of like a set piece. The guy Pedri was just unmarked at the top of the box. He had free range to shoot from way out there and put it in the top corner. So, and then last goal, I think, I don't remember. It was an own goal though. I don't remember how it was. But yeah, man, I think Barcelona, they look good offensively like I expected them to look, but defensively is just more of the same. Against a team like Levante, there's no way you should be giving up 2 goals like that. And I get it, it's early in the season, but there's basically no turnover for them. I think it's just Inigo Martinez that left. So other than, let me see, anybody else leave? Yeah, it's just Martinez, it's just Inigo that left. And so it's basically the same squad. I think Koundé didn't start. He came in for, let me see, Koundé came in for Eric Garcia. So yeah, okay. Yeah, they started Eric Garcia instead of Koundé this past weekend. So he was one of the subs. Who else subbed in? Rashford subbed out for, trying to see, what the hell? Lewandowski, I guess. There's so many subs now in this game. So like, it's 5 subs. It's wow. Like, it's hard to keep up with them. But yeah, Rashford came off. Casado came off. Another baller. And then Balde and Garcia. But yeah, like I said, man, it's just more of the same from Barca from last year. So it's they still want to play the offside trap. It's just I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they haven't come up with something better. I just feel like you try that for a second year in a row against somebody like Real Madrid, against somebody in the Champions League. They're gonna make you pay. Like, somebody's gonna outscore you. Somebody's gonna be just as potent as you offensively. That you're just betting on outscoring teams. So they gotta get that fixed, dude. Like, Ronald Araujo, he is, man. Like, I don't know what to say about him. He's just not who I thought he was. To be honest, they're giving him a chance because Inigo's not there anymore, so it's just him. But he better not get hurt. He better play up to the competition, because yeah, it's they're thin back there. Guarci and him, and then after Christensen, it's not looking good for them back there. But we'll see, man. They're just so good offensively. They have so many options. Rafinha, Lewandowski, Rashford, Yamal. Lamine is such a freaking joy to watch play, bro. Like, I hate that he plays for Barca, but it's just watching him play is crazy. But yeah, it's basically it on Barca. Real Madrid, man, they actually look good. Like, I like what Xabi Alonso's trying to have them do. They're pressuring super high, and I get it. It was Real Oviedo, but let me look up the stats real quick. 1 second. I get it that it's Real Oviedo, so it's a super subpar competition, but I like that high pressure. I mean, if you can get your players like Vini didn't start, but like Rodrigo, Mbappe, to pressure up high and try to recover the ball in the opponent's third, like, that's what Real Madrid could live off of, like, this season. They look pretty solid defensively, but then again, like I said, they weren't really asked to do much because they're just, Real Oviedo was just completely outmatched. Let me see these stats. They're probably, it's not as much. 65% to 35%. Yeah, it's still kind of a lot. 26 shots, shot attempts, shots on goal is 10-3. Yeah, the corner kicks 9-1 is wild. But yeah, they look good pressuring up top. Mbappe seems like he's a little more in sync with Rodrigo. And what actually surprised me is that Franco, man, that's hard to pronounce his last name. Mastantuono. That's like, I've never heard that last name. Mastantuono, yeah, Mastantuono. Argentinian soccer player, bro, that Real Madrid just bought from River. I was actually surprised that he got to start at the right wing. Or yeah, basically right wing, right mid. Right now, I think they're playing a 4-2-3-1, something like that. So he's on that right flank, playing like right wing, right mid type thing. And then they got Guller playing in the middle of the field. Rodrigo out left, Mbappe up top. Yeah, they I like how they pressured the ball in Real Oviedo's third. In soccer, if you can recover the ball in the opponent's third, that's like half the battle. Or in the midfield, recovering a ball in the midfield is super important. That's why your CDMs, if they can recover a ball, or your midfielders in general, you gotta have workhorses that are able to track back and recover balls. That's why, to me, a player like Bellingham, who's injured right now, he's recovering from shoulder surgery, is invaluable. Like, that guy is a box to box, just perfect midfielder to me, because he provides as much on the attack as he provides tracking back. So that's a guy that, to me, is a starter on any team that I could come up with. But yeah, I liked what Mastantuono had to show. I like that he's not shy. I saw him play very little at River. I really don't watch the Argentinian league. I watched him a few times. I've watched him play against Monterrey in the Leagues Cup. That game was actually free, so I actually watched it. I ain't paying for Apple, okay? We'll get to that a little later. I actually got to watch that game for free. It was on, I forget, Univision or TUDN, whatever it's called. And yeah, he's a very skilled player. His left foot is just very educated, man. Like, he's got a hell of a left foot. I'm trying to see who he reminds me of. For all my old heads out there, probably, I'm trying to compare him to another Argentinian player. If there was a player that I would probably compare him to from Argentina, man, I was gonna say De Alessandro. De Alessandro was pretty similar. I don't think he was left-footed though. Let me see. De Alessandro. He was not sure. Andres Alessandro was he might have been left-footed. He might have been left-footed. I can't find it. But anyways, that's who kind of... Oh yeah, he was predominantly left-footed. Okay. Yeah, Andres Alessandro, dude, like, that's who he reminds me of. Kind of that, like, super versatile midfielder that isn't particularly, like, elite at one thing, but does everything he does, like, he does it really well. He's not super fast by any means. He's not super physical by any means. I mean, he's an Argentinian player, and Argentinian players by nature are pretty physical. But he's got class, man. Like, he's one of those midfielders with class. Kind of like a faster paced James Rodriguez. Slightly faster paced James Rodriguez. He would probably, in the 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s, he'd be a prototypical number 10. Very similar also to Arda Güler, like very similar. I think he's a little bit better tracking back on defense. Mastantuono is. But he has that like multifunctional role where he can track back and provides quite a bit on the attack. He's just, I don't know if he's quick enough or elusive enough to play on that right wing. I'd rather have somebody like Rodrigo or even, Valverde, and have somebody else play with Tchouaméni in the center defensive midfielder. But I guess until Bellingham comes back, my prediction is that once Bellingham comes back, Mastantuono is probably gonna go to the bench, and then it'll be probably 4-3-2-1 or 4-2-3-1 with Tchouaméni and Valverde playing as center mids / defensive mids. Rodrigo on the left, Bellingham in the middle, and Arda Güler on the right side, with Mastantuono and Brahim Diaz probably splitting time with Arda Güler. That's what I think. And then on the left side, Rodrigo starting over Vinny. I'm not sure why that is. I like I said in my last podcast, in my last episode, I'm not really happy with Vinny's performance as of late. Since last year, just the second half of last year was just pathetic. But Rodrigo was down in the dumps right now. Like, he did not look very good. He looked okay, but it's not Rodrigo of old. Something must be going on internally with the team, with Xavi. I'm hearing like from the news that he's more than likely going to stay, which I don't mind. Rodrigo, I love Rodrigo. I prefer Rodrigo over Vinny personally. He's more of my liking to the way he plays. But if he's going to stay, he needs to be all the way in with the team, and Xavi needs to actually give him a legit shot. Sometimes it just feels like Xavi's kind of just going to cast him out, like have him on the outside looking in, and Vinny is going to have that position as long as he's playing somewhat well. That's just my feeling. I don't feel like Rodrigo's that comfortable with Xavi right now. Just the vibes that I'm getting from him on the field, just his demeanor, his body language. He's not feeling confident. Like, he doesn't seem like has the confidence from either Xavi or from Florentino. So that's a problem. But like I said, overall, I like what as a group I'm seeing over these first two games. I think we can be a little more clinical, but that's something that's always been an issue for, like, if you're a Real Madrid fan, unless Cristiano Ronaldo was there that one season in 2017 Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, Isco at his prime, and Modric at his prime, Toni Kroos. That to me was the most clinical Real Madrid I ever seen, especially in Champions League. Other than that, Real Madrid has been, man, they're just not clinical. They lapse defensively. So far, this first two games, they've had maybe one or two each game lapses defensively. I think Courtois had to make a decent save once this game. So they look solid defensively, but it's against Real Oviedo. But then again, like I said, look at Barça. Barca's just defensively, they're in shambles. So it's still early, but I like what I'm seeing. I'm kind of starting to understand what Xavi is trying to do with the team. He wants to pressure any team that's trying to come out playing with the ball. I don't know how that works out against a team like Barcelona, though. I don't know. We have to see it. I don't know how that works out in Champions Leagues against like Manchester City. They're gonna try it. They're gonna try it. Real Madrid, the last few years against teams like that, they've been super comfortable with just sitting back. With Ancelotti, they were super comfortable with giving the other team the ball and the possession. Xavi seems like he's not comfortable with that at all. Xavi wants to have the ball. He cherishes possession a lot more than what Ancelotti did. And we just have to see, like, that's kind of scary and sus, because I don't know if I can trust Mbappe, Vini, Arda, to pressure like that against a team like Barcelona, or to stay tactically sound, because it's at that level, it's all about your will to do it, like you wanting to actually buy in and do the tactical positioning when you're defending, when the team is playing out, doing your rotations, doing your shifts, your defensive shifts. And if you don't do it, or you just don't really care about it, and you don't have the presence of mind to do it, like, that's a problem. You get beat, one player gets beat, the whole team is basically beat. You're one player behind, and against teams like Barcelona and City, Bayern Munich, like, that's a problem. They're gonna make you pay. So I have to wait and see if they're able to do that against have that sacrifice that they've shown in the first two games. It's the first two games. That message could get old. That's another thing that us as fans don't take into account. Like, when a coach preaches and preaches and preaches a certain message to a team, there comes a point where the players kind of get exhausted if they're not of that mentality. Like, maybe Vinny doesn't want to hear that. Like, it's just, and he checks out. Maybe Mbappe just, and that's an issue he had at PSG. Somebody like Luis Enrique, it's reported that he tried to tell him, hey, man, I need you to pressure up top constantly, consistently. Pardon. And he just wasn't able to do it at a consistent level. So that may be the case. He might do it for the first 5 games. He might do it against these teams that you can tell they're just not good enough to come out with the ball at their feet against you. But he might get frustrated if he starts getting passed around by Barcelona, by Atletico Madrid, by Villarreal, who's first place right now. What the heck? So but yeah, that's basically it on Real Madrid. So shout out to us, man. We're doing all right. Third place based on goals scored. Early in the season, we still got a long way to go. Villarreal so far is the surprise at first place. They killed, who was it? Sevilla? I think it was Sevilla. They killed like 5-0 or something crazy like that. So shout out to Villarreal. We're gonna they're probably gonna get our attention. Probably have to check them out. Tajon Buchanan from Canada plays with them, so might have to check him out. He's got 3 goals, so we'll probably check him out a little more this season if they keep it up. And but yeah, that's so far what we got with La Liga and Real Madrid with Barcelona. Moving along, I wanted to actually talk about. Okay, well, I guess we could get the Mora thing out of the way. So apparently, let me change this for anybody that's actually that's watching the video version. Apparently, Gilberto Mora from Cholos is being linked to Real Madrid, which is wild, bro. Like, that's pretty wild. Let me see if I can shrink this. So big. Sorry. There you go. So yeah, Gilberto Mora, 16-year-old. Let's see if you want to call him. What do you want to call him? Promise. From Mexico. He's being linked to Real Madrid. I'm Mexican, so I've heard this before, and right off the bat, I like how Mora plays. I watched him again in the Gold Cup. And it's the Gold Cup. You're playing CONCACAF teams, so there is that to say. But in that final against the US, he looked like the moment wasn't too big for him. Being 16, he played really well. He didn't look shy. The moment didn't seem too big for him. I don't even think he lost any of the balls he had. So, like, he's a promise for Mexico. Now, as far as Real Madrid wanting him, that's crazy. Like, I mean, this is from Diario AS, so it seems like it's pretty legit that Real Madrid is showing interest. That could mean a lot of things, bro. Like, that could mean that they've kept an eye on him. That could mean that they've talked to his dad, his parents. Maybe they've talked to Cholos about, hey, how much would the card be for a player like him? But as Mexicans, we got to take it a little slow, man. Like, let's not crown anybody before they do anything. Would I love to see Mora al Real Madrid? Of course, man. Like, that'd be awesome to see another Mexican at Real Madrid. I mean, I've never seen one in my... I guess Chicharito. You want to count Chicharito, that's fine. But I think everybody that knows soccer knows that was more of a marketing scheme by Florentino to sell jerseys in Mexico. But that's just my opinion. I don't have any proof of that, but that's how I saw it. And it just happened that Chicharito was just, he's a hard worker, so he was gonna score goals. He's not a bum, but that was more of a marketing tactic by Florentino, which he's a genius of that. Anyways, so it'd be the first Mexican since Chicharito basically that would play at Real Madrid. But I wouldn't have my hopes up right now. Like, looking at the team that Real Madrid has right now, like, let's say, because people are saying that it would be for a signing when he's 18. So he'll be 18. Mastantuono would be what, 20? Arda would probably be what, 23? 23 or something like that. Bellingham would be 24 or 23. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might buy his card, but for him to start, for him to have a chance to play, dang, he'd have to be Luka Modric, bro. Like, I remember Luka Modric came to Real Madrid. Like, everybody was like hating off of that move by Mourinho, and he ended up becoming a legend. Like, with all the midfielders they had at the time, Xavi Alonso, blah blah blah, the rest. But yeah, this basically says that FIFA rules prevent international transfer for minors. So any move would likely involve a pre-contract agreement, allowing him to move to Europe once he turns 18. So at 18, he would move to Europe. I would think, personally, I don't think there's anything that Mora can show in Liga MX to have even a bench spot at Real Madrid. For me, there's nothing he can do at La Liga MX. Now, if he somehow, bro, balls the hell out in the World Cup, starts in the World Cup, and has a balling World Cup next year, then that's different. That's a different story. Let's say he balls out, Mexico somehow reaches whatever, quarterfinals, whatever, and he has a really good World Cup against a really good an important team. He'd be what, 17? Then maybe. But then that's still a year away from him actually turning 18. So he still would have to maintain that level for another year. And it's just a lot of factors, man. Like, for him to actually get to Real Madrid at 18 and play. For me, if they actually do get him, I think they'd sign him, they'd get his card, and he'd go play elsewhere. He might go play at the B, Real Madrid B. He might play for another team in Spain. He might go play in Netherlands, something like that. Because to play around Madrid, like, it's just, I mean, you gotta be some kind of phenom, basically. That's the problem. I'll be right back. My kid just started crying. All right, we're back. But yeah, I like Gilberto. I like Mora, but just I also feel like he's a little too small. I mean, he is only 16, so he might hit a growth spurt. He's even shorter than Modric was, you know. But he is 16, so I'm not gonna hold that against him right now. We'll see how he is at 18 or 19. But yeah, he's a baller. He's a baller. But I think we just need to take a little slow. What pisses me off is it's so hard to watch Mexican sports media, dude. Like it's at this point for me it's impossible. Those guys are so narrative driven. It's ridiculous. And for anybody that's Mexican that tries to watch these shows, you know what I'm talking about. Like they any kind of narrative they could find on anything that has to do with Mexican soccer, they're gonna push it. Unless they're part of the people that are tied to the league, tied to the Mexican national team. Anybody outside of that is super negative and super narrative, like super controversial, I forget what it's called, but just super negative and super narrative driven is what I'm trying to say. So they're already they're trying to build him up to break him down, basically, you know, already. So I would try to stay away from that as a fan, because that's what they try to get fans to do, is to help him build the player. That way, whenever he reaches whatever level he reaches, have the fans be part of his breakdown. It's kind of sad, in my opinion. So let's take it slow. As Mexicans, I say we take it slow with Gilberto. If he ends up in Europe, anywhere in Europe, I think it's a good thing. And it goes to show that there is talent in Mexico. That it just has to kind of be cultivated correctly. From everything that I have read, seems like he's got good support from his family. Got a good head on his shoulders. So looks like he's headed in the right direction. But let's take it a little slow with him. Now let's move on to the MLS-Apple contract situation. A few months ago, I was talking to one of my friends over Discord, and I was telling him how there were people that believe that Apple contract wasn't even going to be able to be fulfilled. Just because, from what I've been reading, they've been losing a lot of money. I'm not a contract expert. I'm not a financial expert. But from what I hear, it's like look at the actual things that they said how much they got for the contract. It was $2.5 billion for 10 years, something like that. But according to the things I've read in this article, like MLS is responsible for all production costs. So Apple has already paid him for anything that they will use in the production budget. And the production budget is highly expensive from what I'm seeing. Because the few games that I did watch on Apple TV 2 years ago, whenever the League's Cup first started, I actually got the free trial or whatever for first 30 days or something like that, or 7 days. I don't remember what it was, but I canceled that right away. I don't watch MLS, so. And then I seen how whack the League's Cup was to me. I was like, no, this isn't for me. So I canceled it. But the production is actually super good. Like the narrators, the on the field reporters, like all of that seems like it's super expensive. So MLS has to pay for all that. Out of that $2.5 billion, they're not getting any more money to produce the actual programming. So what they were saying is that it really it's not just $2.5 billion clean, like clear of anything else. So as of now, like MLS is losing a lot of money. They're bleeding money because of that, allegedly. Because of the viewers they have. According to this article, they're averaging 120,000 unique viewers on Apple TV, and that viewership, it says right here, is lower than the reported 343,000 that they were getting when they were with ESPN. So what the hell? Like, how is that an upgrade? You're basically at half of what you used to be whenever you were already not a very important league in the United States. And like I said in my first episode, that's my issue with MLS. MLS, for some reason, the commissioner and the owners, because they're running it basically like the NFL. For anybody that's familiar with the NFL here in the US, the owners own the league, right? They make the rules. So they basically vote on anything and everything that's going to happen in the league, and the commissioner just carries out those orders. The commissioner is elected by the owners, and he really doesn't act independent to the owners. Like, he's basically like, I guess in a company it'd be like the commissioner is the CEO and the owners are the board members or the stockholders, whatever you want to call it. So they make the decisions, and then the commissioner executes them. So that's how the MLS is run. In other countries, I know it's a little different, where like the league acts independently, and yes, they do have owners meetings and all that, but it's a bit different. Here is basically just the NFL model transferred to the MLS. So the owners signed off on this deal, and there's no way that they're happy about having half of the viewership on Apple. And the point I was trying to make earlier, the owners and the commissioner, they think the MLS is bigger than what it actually is, and they put it behind a paywall. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would the NHL, aside from regional coverage, because there is regional coverage here in the United States, the NFL has it too. The NBA has regional, because there's so many games that going on at the same time, so you kind of have markets that have different games. Whatever. Everybody that is watching this or listening to this probably knows what I'm talking about. Aside from regional games, every other game is on open TV, like, for the most part. Like, you if you live in Dallas for NHL, if you live in Dallas and you watch the Dallas Stars, you're gonna get the game. It may be over cable TV, it may be over local TV, whatever deal they have. I don't know what deal the NHL has, but you're gonna get it. Whereas Apple, you have to specifically subscribe to, with the MLS, you specifically have to subscribe to Apple to see all of the games. Yes, you get access to every game. I don't think there's any regional restrictions on Apple TV for the MLS. But you have to subscribe. It's like $99 a month. So right now, NFL Sunday Ticket is $489. MLS is 1/5 of that. I don't think MLS has 1/5 of the viewers that NFL has. So how are you going to charge 1/5 of the price? I mean, I know it's apples to oranges, but my point is, like, you shouldn't be charging a subscription to watch MLS. You're not big like that. Like, that's like, it doesn't make any sense. When you're trying to grow the sport, you want to put a paywall on it. Like, I don't know how that makes sense. You're trying to grow your league. You're not. I think you're thinking you're bigger than what you are. And the Messi signing, which, like, I think also required approval from every owner in the league for him to be able to be signed by Miami. That's an expensive signing. I don't think they released the actual number for the contract, but that was a super expensive signing, and that had a boost. They talk about it here. That had a boost in subscriptions because everybody wanted to watch Messi play for Miami. but it wasn't sustainable. It didn't, it brought eyes to the game, but it didn't. You weren't able to keep all those eyes on the game. So now they're running into an issue where just the viewership doesn't make sense for the amount of money they're bleeding in production costs. But the MLS commissioner is still defending it, saying like that for some reason, like whoever criticizes it doesn't understand it. It's a long game, that they're like pioneers, that there's gonna be more leagues that'll go to exclusive. Bro, that already happens. Like, like the other leagues are already on streaming devices, but they're so big that they don't have to just sign with one. Like the MLS is on Prime, the MLS is on regular TV. The NFL is on Prime. It's on local TV. It's got Monday Night Football. So it's completely different. They're that big that they could sell themselves to different. They can sell different time slots to different streaming services or stations at whatever price they want. I think NFL Sunday Night Football, like that's on NBC. That's the premier slot for NFL Sunday Night Football, and I'm sure NBC pays top dollar for that. I'm sure NFL pays top dollar for Monday Night Football games, even though most of the time they're the worst games ever. They pay top money. Fox gets the 3:00 game. And CBS gets 3:00 games on Sunday. Those games are super expensive. Prime gets their Thursdays, but like those games are super expensive for those providers, for those streaming providers, streaming services. Sorry, but they're worth it because they generate that much viewership. Whereas the MLS, you're putting it behind a paywall. Nobody's watching it. No, 343,000 people were watching it beforehand. Now it's 120 behind a paywall. Of course, like that makes sense. Why would I want to pay for something that I wasn't already really watching? As I'm talking about the country as a whole, and I don't even need to talk about like they shouldn't even begin to talk about international viewership, because I know it's like non-existent. I'm sure there's nobody watching it outside of the US. So I just don't understand what the MLS is trying to do. I'm gonna do a video an episode about USL. USL, I read something interesting about what they're trying. They're trying to basically bring promotion and relegation to the United States in their league. So I gotta research that a little more, and I'll make a video about my thoughts on USL's future. But yeah, this MLS thing, I just don't know. I don't think it's sustainable. I didn't think it was sustainable when the contract was made 2-3 years ago. I don't think it is now. Like, I have no interest, and I'm a consumer. Like, I watch soccer, but I pick and choose what I watch, right? I don't have time. I don't have unlimited time to watch everything, and I'm sure that's how everybody is. And if you are a soccer fan, you're just like me. The United States is a super busy lifestyle. Just the way our society is, we're super busy all the time. So downtime is super important. And I am a soccer fan, but I'm also a sports fan. So I already have boxing. I already have soccer. I have college football, NFL football. So you're fighting for my dollar. You're fighting for my viewership, for my eyes, and my time. I don't have unlimited time. So I have to pick and choose what I can watch. So if MLS is already down the list, and now you're putting a paywall, like, how is that supposed to get me to watch it? If it's on Fox during the summer and there's nothing else to watch and I'm missing sports, I'm probably going to watch it. Similar to how the WNBA has it. I think I read something, I don't know if this is true. I read something that like the WNBA is projected to make more from media rights, or from I guess from media rights, then the MLS, which I don't know if that's true, because the MLS loses a lot of money, but I read something like that. I probably wouldn't go that far, but if that is true, that is crazy. That is wild. That the WNBA is making more than the MLS as far as media rights. Basically, like, because ESPN I think ESPN is the one that has the WNBA rights. So I guess I think it was AI that was saying this, because I typed it in. I was trying to find information about the contract, and they said that, you know, one of the things to look at is that WNBA is actually making more money from its media rights than the MLS is, which would be wild. I guess because the production value, like the production cost, like I said earlier, is so much that they're actually bleeding money from that 2.5 billion that they're supposed to get, whereas the NBA probably isn't losing as much money. You know, like, that'd be wild. That'd be crazy. That the MLS is losing more money than the WNBA. That would be crazy, dude. That would be wild. But yeah, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the way the MLS does soccer, man. It's such a, they put so many walls around it. It's so protected and it's so exclusive. They try to sell it as an exclusive product. You know, it's like Apple, you know, like Apple does their products. Like, it's exclusivity. What you're paying for when you buy an Apple Watch is exclusivity, because your Apple Watch is only really compatible with an iPad. Your iPad is only compatible with like a MacBook. A MacBook is only compatible with, you know, it goes on and on. So it's like a closed circuit. And that's what the MLS is kind of turning into. The MLS only wants the Leagues Cup in Apple within the same circuit. And I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. It don't make sense to me. But hey, man, it's not my money. Their money. Y'all want to spend it on that? Another thing that a lot of people don't think about, like I said, I'm not a financial expert. A lot of these owners own other franchises. Okay, so this isn't their one thing that they own. They own other sports franchises. So for all we know, this is like, yeah. Well, what's with the team? LA Galaxy is a pretty big team. They might be actually generating money. I'm not sure. But whatever team, Kansas City or whoever, Columbus, the owner of the Columbus might own another team, and he just, whatever losses he reports from here is just a tax write-off. You know, reports it as a loss. It's no big deal. He may have the Cleveland Browns. You know, he may own, I don't know, but I know they own other franchises. Some of these owners own other franchises, so I don't think it's a big deal to them, at least right now. But once they start bleeding money like anything else, these super rich people, they're gonna dump these teams, you know, like they do everything else, you know. Once it starts losing the money, it's like, okay, whatever, this isn't even worth keeping it for a tax write-off. Like, it's no good to me anymore. And that basically would mean dumping soccer, you know. And these people don't really care for the sport. They don't. They're all about dollars and cents, and what makes dollars makes sense. Okay. And I guess it's a good segue to go into the freaking Leagues Cup, bro. The Leagues Cup, man. There's no way that this tournament actually exists, dude. Like, I have no idea whose bright idea it was to create this tournament. This tournament is whack. I don't care about it because, once again, it's on a closed circuit, so there's no way you're going to tell me about it. There's no way I can get excited for it. I barely hear about it. You know? And again, I'm a consumer. I consume sports. I consume soccer. I don't care about it. It proves nothing. It doesn't have any tradition. It's only held here in the U.S. Like, the MLS teams play on their home field, but they also might be playing as the away team on their home field. It's weird, man. It's a weird cash grab that they came up with. Like, how are you able to get away with this? Like, how are you able to, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're getting away with it. I don't think it's generating as much as they think, or as much as they want it to. Like, I know Mexicans don't care about it. Fans of Liga MX, I know damn well they don't really care about it. It's not important to them. They care more about what's going on in Liga MX. Like, it's so crazy, bro. Like, how is this better than like getting MLS teams and Liga MX teams to just play in Libertadores? You know, get 4 teams from MLS, get 4 teams. I get it, the travel, bro, but Libertadores generates so much freaking money in South America. Like, you imagine how much more it would generate if you included the United States market and the Mexican market. Like I said, man, it's not my money. I've never made that much amount of money, but that would just make sense to me, you know? And as far as competition, it would be crazy. Like, could you imagine River Plate coming and play in Seattle, going to play in Seattle? You know? Like, imagine that. Or going to play in LA, going to play in Columbus. Like, what the hell? Like, why isn't that happening? Those teams are already selling out. Like, Monterrey and River sold out like the LA Coliseum. Was the LA Coliseum? Yeah, it was the LA Coliseum. Yeah. Like, could you imagine River Plate playing the LA Galaxy? Like, that'd be wild, man. Like, it'd be cool. Like, I would want to see that. Like, I would actually want to see that. You know? And then LA Galaxy has to go to El Monumental and play River Plate. Come on, man. Like, I would want to see that. Like, I'd be intrigued, you know? And maybe, yes, at the beginning, because just they're not used to that type of competition, MLS teams would get beat. Liga MX teams would probably get beat because they're not used to it anymore. None of these players that are playing now are used to playing Libertadores in Mexico. Mexico hasn't played Libertadores in about, 10 years almost? So, but I would want to see it. I want to see America go play against Boca Juniors. I want to see, you know, Cruz Azul, Chivas. I want to see like that. That to me is what draws my eyes, bro. Like, that's what I would like to watch. I'd be interested in that, you know. And you generate a lot of fans with that. You generate some pride in the teams in the NFL because we would want to rep for your city, you know. People in LA that are LA Galaxy fans, you don't think they would want to pack out? Where do they play at? They'd probably make that game somewhere big. You know, I would still make it in a soccer stadium because that's just, man, the vibes in an actual soccer stadium that's meant for the soccer game. Which I don't even know what it's called now, but it used to be called like Home Depot Center in Carson, California. Like, bro, the vibes would be crazy, man. It'd be cool to see, but nah, we gotta play Leagues Cup, bro, on a half-empty state. Like, that's whack, dude. That is whack. How the hell is that? How the hell is that better? I don't understand, y'all, man. Like, how the hell is that? How the hell do I want to watch that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I go to that after having watched Copa Libertadores as a kid with La Bombonera just, you know, flipping off Bofo Bautista, spitting on him, getting spat on by the coach? Bro, like you can't go back. Once you've seen that, like, you can't go back to watching half-empty stadiums, half-empty games between Orlando City and Mazatlan. Like, nah, like, it's not possible. Like, you can't go back. You can't go to that. At least my eyes can. Maybe the new gen can. Maybe the new generation, since they didn't see Cruz Azul play in the final of Libertadores, since they didn't see Chivas play in the final of Libertadores, maybe they're cool with that. Like, I can't do it, man. I don't know. And this tournament is just like a failure to me. Like, first of all, there's no Mexican teams in the semis. Like, it just goes to show, like, they're at different times of the season. I know MLS is trying to go to a regular calendar, finally, as everybody else in the world. and just forget about this stupid, what is it, February to December, whatever the hell they play, man, February to December, something like that, and then just have summers off. Like, hopefully do that, but we need to move on from these types of tournaments, dude. Like, as a region, we need to just move on, dude. Like, these tournaments do nothing for the game, man. They don't do anything for us. At this point, I don't even think they're generating money. How can they? The stadiums are empty. The prize money isn't even that good. Like, I don't know, but it is what it is, man. I don't know what they must be watching something crazy, man. Their numbers must be different than anything I could ever imagine, but that's wild, bro. Let's get Libertadores back, man. Figure it out. But yeah, this fucking tournament is you got Inter Miami, Orlando, LA Galaxy, and Seattle in the semis. Like, how is that appealing to any soccer fan besides super MLS hardcores? Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. But all right, we'll see how long they keep that up, dude. Lionel Messi's gonna retire. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, what's your plan after Messi? It's crazy, dude. But anyways, guys, that's the show. That's the episode this week, man. We will try to be more consistent. We'll try to get another one out next week. I know there's games next week, international games. Mexico plays South Korea and they play Japan, so we'll probably watch that. It's a bunch of MLS. It's a bunch of Liga MX players that got called up. So we'll watch that. I know La Sub-20 from Mexico is gonna play in the World Cup in Chile, I think. So we'll check that out. I think Gilberto Mora is playing in that team. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's gonna play in one of the teams. So, because he's not available for the first team. But yeah, man, we'll hit y'all up next week. We'll talk about Real Madrid again and Barcelona. Shout out to Man U, baby. Man, you guys are down bad. But anyways, that is the show for today. Y'all have a blessed day, guys. Thank you so much.